Its neighbors are the Pacific Ocean to the west and Mexico to the south. It's San Diego, and this big city with a small town feel is a melting pot of fun. From year-round sunshine to surfers hanging 10, we'll follow the locals to find out where they eat,
Bon appetit.
drink,
Great bad margaritas.
and are merry. So join us as we uncover the best of California's southernmost big city, from dining with Shamu to cooking up the past in the Gaslamp.
Hi, you guys. Welcome to the Gaslamp Strip Club.
We'll find out why San Diego has been called America's finest city on Destination San Diego. It's got beaches galore, shipyards and ports of call, history, art, and culture, marine life, wildlife, and nightlife. It's San Diego, California, and we'll show you its best-known sights and its best-kept secrets. Along the way, we'll meet a broad mix of people, each with a different take on their multi-dimensional city.
San Diego's vibrant.
Stimulating, exciting.
Totally radical, dude.
It's very international.
Fantabulous.
This Southern California city defies easy description, but there's one word that gets used a lot in San Diego.
San Diego is a beautiful city.
It's a beautiful city.
It's beautiful.
San Diego is the most beautiful city in the United States.
What makes San Diego so beautiful? It could be the miles of sandy beaches and its sparkling waterfront, like the one in La Jolla. The historic Mission San Diego de Alcala and carefully restored downtown buildings of the East Village. The abundant parkland and plentiful wildlife. Or maybe it's the weather.
The weather's a lot nicer here right now than what it is in West Virginia.
Can't beat it. It's the greatest.
It's never too hot, it's never too cold, and it's year-round, kind of a perfect climate.
With an average daily temperature of 70 degrees and mostly sunny skies, some say San Diego's good weather makes for the good life.
We have this wonderful quality of life that does not exist in other cities in America, caused by great weather, great beauty.
It's what I would term as a constant spring fever. People enjoy being outside.
This is a very healthy place. I think many people are out jogging, running, on the beach, always doing something outdoors.
With such great weather, it's no surprise that some of San Diego's most famous attractions are outside. There's the 1,200-acre Balboa Park. It's the largest urban cultural park in the country. There are animals galore at the San Diego Zoo and its Wild Animal Park. And there's Shamu's home, SeaWorld San Diego.
Got it?
Although it may not feel like it, San Diego is a big city. Over 1.2 million people call San Diego home.
I think the thing that surprises people the most is that we are the 7th largest city in America.
But to truly understand why such a big city has such a small town feel, we'll have to ask the locals.
We're much more kicked back people.
Yeah.
You know, nothing really bothers you too much that you can't get to the beach and get those stresses out, run along the beach or go surfing.
Yes, life's a beach in San Diego. But here, it's not just about the sun and the sand, it's about the surf.
The surf in San Diego is some of the best in the world, all within, say, 30 miles of coastline. Incredible.
The first thing you'll notice on a visit is that surfing is more than a sport. It's a way of life, even a religion.
San Diego basically is one of the meccas for the surf culture. The fiberglassing of the surfboards, the distribution of the surfboards, it's all come out of Southern California.
But San Diego's location on the water is responsible for much more than a laid-back surfer attitude. It's given it its nickname, Navy Town, USA.
The public is very receptive to us and very friendly. San Diego is the principal port for the Pacific Fleet.
San Diego's water has even been credited with keeping its thriving economy afloat.
If it hadn't been for the bay, the access to the bay, and the fact that the Spanish explorers found this bay, there wouldn't be a San Diego.
The Port of San Diego supports a huge shipping industry, handling some 3 million tons of commodities annually. But what's even more impressive is the cruise line business. San Diego's emerging cruise port has tripled its growth since the year 2000.
Welcome aboard, folks. Sir, welcome. Hello, hello.
The average cruise ship can carry about 2,000 passengers. And while many get on and get off without ever leaving the port, their voyages depend on San Diego for food, fuel, and other services.
Every time a cruise ship pulls into port, $2 million is spent. They order all kinds of goods and commodities, everywhere from attorneys to medical providers to the obvious meat, vegetables that go to feed the passengers on a cruise ship.
We've seen that both the weather and the water help to create San Diego's unique vibe, but it's also just 16 miles from the Mexican border. And there's no doubt this Mexican influence has helped define the city.
Almost every day of the week, we have a marimba band.
And added spice to San Diego's cuisine. And with Mexico as their neighbor, it's no wonder why tequila is a favorite drink of San Diegans.
Here are 2 bird bath margaritas.
Wow, look at that. The tequila is the drink of San Diego.
We'll visit the very best of San Diego and see this is a city that defies definition. A melting pot influenced by its border, beaches, boats, and boards. Its many historic and euphoric sights, and plentiful culinary delights. Take a trip here and you'll see this is one destination you'll want plenty of time to explore.
When you add it all up, there is so much to see, so much to do, so much varieties. It's a big city, it's a small city, it's a beach town.
San Diegans feel that we are America's finest city and really mean it. It's like you've come to paradise and found it.
After the break, San Diego comes face to face with Hollywood when an historic hotel opens its doors to Tinseltown. Where else can you be surrounded with all the amenities of a modern metropolis and still feel like you're stepping back in time? But don't be fooled by its modern cityscape. San Diego is oozing with history.
San Diego is a very significant historic place. It is where Cabrillo landed in 1542, the first European to visit the Pacific coast.
Many historians refer to Mission San Diego as the Plymouth Rock of the West Coast, meaning this was the site of the first European settlement.
It's really the birthplace of California, where the Mission Trail was formed, and the first mission, Alcala Mission, San Diego Alcala Mission, was formed here in San Diego.
Credited by many as the birthplace of San Diego, the walls of the mission hold stories of this city's past. Mission San Diego de Alcala was founded in 1769 by Father Junipero Serra. It was the beginnings of the first Spanish settlement in California and the first of an eventual 21 missions, each a day's walk from each other. The chain of missions allowed the Spaniards to settle the far-flung territory of California.
To just think priests walked these grounds and worked here, I think that's something we think of every day we walk around here.
But San Diego is full of places to walk in the footsteps of history. We'll head to nearby Old Town, where Mexican and American history stand side by side.
Old Town, which is a great place of historic significance, you can see how this city really began in the late 1700s and sort of evolved from this little Mexican pueblo into what is now the 7th biggest city in America.
Tourists flock to Old Town.
We're real glad to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
But few realize there's another reason why Mexican culture is so entrenched in San Diego's soil. The area that's modern-day San Diego was actually part of Mexico before becoming part of the United States in 1850. And while Mexico gave up its claim to San Diego over 100 years ago, after U.S. forces sailed into Point Loma and marched unopposed into Old Town during the war with Mexico. Today at Old Town's Bazaar del Mundo, Mexican history is still alive and well.
There's a lot of Hispanic influence in San Diego. It's been historically so. And the bazaar has brought that flavor into the community and really has become a destination for people all over the world.
Bazaar del Mundo is a collection of shops and restaurants within Old Town San Diego. And while San Diego is now on American soil, you can find Mexican handicrafts here that have withstood the test of time.
Anything you find in Mexico, it's here.
We've lived here for like 11 years, just up the hill, and every time we come down here, we find completely different things, and it's always a wonderful experience.
And if you work up a thirst after a long day of shopping, you're in the right place. Bazaar del Mundo might just be the Margaritaville of California, if you go by numbers sold.
Oh, about 700,000 annually. We go through a lot of tequila and a lot of limes.
But no, that's not tequila in those glasses. It's another blast from Mexico's past.
What's going on with the Jarabe Loco, and that's the name of the dance, is they're depicting the dancer and the dexterity of the dancer actually to be able to do the quick footwork with a glass of water on your head. And it's just kind of a challenge, you know, that you're going to be able to keep that glass on your head throughout the whole dance.
Traditional Mexican dancing is just one piece of Mexico's history that comes alive each day at San Diego's Bazaar del Mundo. And there's one song and dance that's much more than just Mexican entertainment. Listen closely, and the history of Mexico is revealed in mariachi. And here at Old Town's Casa de Bandini, restaurant visitors can hear the story of Mexico set to music each and every night. Mariachi dates back to the 19th century in Mexico and was the music of the people. Its songs speak of machismo, love, death, politics, and revolution. It was a style that is credited with helping to wipe out the last trace of Spanish presence in Mexico, explaining why many describe mariachi as the essence of Mexico. While the spirit of Mexico is alive in many ways in San Diego, some say it's the Navy that holds claim to much of San Diego's past. Nicknamed Navytown, USA, today there are just under half a dozen naval bases and some 50 ships and aircraft carriers in and around San Diego.
You have all aspects of the Navy. You have the air and the surface and the submarines, the shore commands, and just a huge naval presence, which it's a great area for that, and the public is very receptive to us and very friendly. San Diego is the principal port for the Pacific Fleet.
San Diego's naval history began in 1846, and since then, many famous ships have called its harbor home. Today, there's one place visitors can hop aboard these relics of the past and watch this important seafaring history come to life. It's the Maritime Museum of San Diego.
Hi. Hi, welcome aboard the Surprise.
The museum is home to the HMS Surprise. You might recognize this replica of an 18th century warship from the Academy Award-winning film Master and Commander. But the pride and joy of San Diego's Maritime Museum is the Star of India. Built in 1863 and standing proud at over 124 feet tall, she's the oldest active sailing vessel in the world, an honor that earned her a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records. Today, she sets sail along San Diego's waters only once a year. But in her heyday, she saw plenty of action. There was mutiny, cyclones, and even the tragic death of her first captain at sea.
She had very many lives. She carried immigrants. She did the spice trade. Then she also did lumber, and she's a must-see to come when you come to San Diego.
Hop aboard the Star of India, and you'll see she's much more than just a historic ship in the harbor.
Ready on the capstan!
Costumed employees bring guests back in time. You can experience an imaginary voyage to the New World. Sail to San Francisco to get in on California's gold rush, or even relive the eve of the American Revolution. Interactive programs like these give even the most inexperienced sailor a taste of San Diego's seafaring past.
Hip hip! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!
But the Star of India and the ships of San Diego's Maritime Museum aren't the only place in the harbor for a hands-on naval experience. We'll jump ship and hop aboard another historic vessel, one that saw the dawn of naval missile warfare. The career of the famed USS Midway began with the surrender of Japan in World War II. It saw the Cold War, Vietnam, and served as the flagship of Desert Storm. For 47 years, it was an entire city at sea, carrying a crew of thousands with its own newspaper, doctors, restaurants, and more. And today, the USS Midway is docked in the San Diego Bay. Retired from active duty in 1992, the longest-serving aircraft carrier in naval history is now open for visitors to Rome. USS Midway is home to San Diego's first aircraft carrier museum. Walking around the massive ship gives you a feel of what life was like for any of the 225,000 Americans who served on board during her long career.
This is the bridge, the nerve center of a ship of 4,500 crew, operating both in combat as well as on humanitarian missions over the course of 47 years, the longest serving carrier in U.S. Navy history.
Midway had everything, even a jail.
If you were sentenced here for 1 to 3 days, sometimes 5 days, the sentence included bread and water. And remember, there's no air conditioning down here, so it cured a man pretty quickly of stealing cigarettes or getting in fights. This mixer here had to be this size because the cookbook on Midway was in servings of 100. And in fact, for the chocolate chip cookie recipe, the first ingredient was a barrel of flour.
From baking cookies to being a leader in military operations, a day aboard the Midway brings San Diego's unique naval history to life. But a tour of San Diego's history wouldn't be complete without a stop at one of its most famous landmarks, the legendary Hotel del Coronado. The hotel was, and still is, the Grand Lady by the Sea on San Diego's Coronado Island.
The Hotel Del was finished in 1888. It was actually designed by 2 railroad architects from Evansville, Indiana, and when you walk in the front door of the hotel, you are immediately aware of the fact that 2 railroad architects designed it.
It's grander than any hotel I've ever stayed at. It's awesome here. It's just really awesome.
The hotel even made Hollywood history when it became the backdrop of a 1950s classic.
1958, Some Like It Hot was filmed. Marilyn Monroe, Tony Curtis, Jack Lemmon. Wonderful shots. In fact, it's a video history of the hotel.
From Hollywood history to when San Diego belonged to Mexico, San Diego's a modern city alive with a spirited past. Next up, surf culture is everywhere in San Diego, and the guys seem to have most of the fun. But see what happens when some surfing divas dive in. From outdoor classical concerts to a thriving art community, the city of San Diego is overflowing with culture. But with 70 miles of coastline, it's no surprise much of San Diego's culture has sprung from its beaches. And in San Diego, the subject that sparks more debate isn't politics or the arts. It's which of San Diego's many beaches is the best.
The best beach? I enjoy Pacific Beach.
Mission Beach. I guess it'd have to be Coronado. I like Torrey Pines, actually.
But ask a San Diegan about the best spot for surfing, and they're bound to be less forthcoming.
I don't want to divulge this information because then we'll catch hell from it if we tell all the local spots. You know?
They get mad at us if we reveal the local spots.
Keeping quiet about where to catch the waves is one aspect of San Diego's ubiquitous surf culture.
The people who are really into surfing, they know exactly where the good surfing spots are, and you just leave it up to them and they'll be there.
But it isn't only about knowing the spots to surf. It's about looking the part. One great place to suit up and get your board in shape is South Coast Surf Shop in Pacific Beach.
Yeah, we're pretty much well known because we've been around for about 30 years plus, so we're one of the oldest establishments in town.
From surf attire to equipment, South Coast Surf Shop has everything you need when catching waves. But what's the one item no San Diego surfer should be without?
A bar of wax.
It's applied to the top of the surfboard to give it a traction surface. And most people will come in here, they've never surfed before, and they might rent a board or buy a board, and that's the most important thing that they really need to have a good time, and they know nothing about it.
If you add a back fin, I'd remove these side fins and just ride it as a straight tri fin.
And while you may run into some surf dudes at the shop,
Did you get in the water today?
Yeah.
Where'd you surf?
Sunset Cliffs.
How big was it?
It was about head high.
don't be intimidated. Anyone can surf in San Diego, and everyone does.
A lot of the surfers nowadays are full-on doctors, lawyers, from major star athletes that, belong to the Chargers and the Padres to, brain surgeons, literally.
So we know how to dress like a surfer, even shop like a surfer. But we'll never be a full-fledged member of San Diego's surf culture if we don't learn how to hang 10. So, we'll head to La Jolla and take a class with the coolest girls in town. Locals Izzy Tihanyi and her sister Coco epitomize San Diego's surf culture. Almost 10 years ago, they opened a surf school called Surf Diva, and divas from all over the world have been riding San Diego's waves ever since.
I really want to go in the water. That's all I want to do.
We're the first all-girls surf school. We started in 1996 here in beautiful San Diego, and we have a program that teaches all women and girls how to surf, and we also have a program called Guys on the Side, to not forget those men and boys out there. We've taught literally thousands and thousands of people to surf.
Yeah, that was good to me.
And we have this awesome clothing line that has board shorts and rash guards. We have surfboards.
Our motto is,
the best surfer in the water is the one having the most fun.
From surf culture to haute couture, San Diego's La Jolla has been called the Beverly Hills on the beach. Its name means the jewel in Spanish, and La Jolla's own version of Rodeo Drive, full of upscale boutiques, are some of the most exclusive and expensive in San Diego.
Vintage lace covering the silk charmeuse with antique jet black beading. This dress is about $1,000.
In San Diego's exclusive La Jolla, even the dogs only wear the very best.
Oh, Sophie, this is so you, my goodness.
You'll find only the most cultured of canines in these high-end stores.
We sell, one of our top-selling items is our rhinestone necklaces. You can spell out your dog's name in rhinestones for their necklaces.
I actually look at this as the Neiman Marcus of the doggy world, sort of more the designer doggy couture, I guess, is what you would call it.
While we're a boutique for hot dogs and cool cats, that's our say.
From the beaches that bear San Diego's surf culture to one of San Diego's wealthiest communities that inspires the best of doggy couture, San Diego has created its own unique culture unmatched anywhere else. Stay with us to discover the secret to seafood success when we go behind the scenes at one of San Diego's most beloved restaurants. With year-round sunshine and beautiful beaches, being outdoors is what San Diego's all about. But even the most dedicated surfers need to refuel. And when they head in, there's no shortage of places to go for food.
42, your order's ready, 42.
San Diego and its surrounding area is home to some 6,400 restaurants,
Bon appetit.
making it a diner's delight.
Oh, magnificent.
From upscale to down home, and all varieties of cuisine, eating well in San Diego isn't hard. And as you'd expect, this city by the sea is overflowing with seafood. We'll take the advice of the locals and start our culinary quest of San Diego where they go, Point Loma Seafood.
Point Loma Seafood, #1.
Point Loma's is a family-run business that began in 1963. And since that time, they've gone from one small display case to the restaurant you see today.
Why is it so famous? Because it's super fresh and it just comes off the boat right here in the harbor.
Point Loma's is right on the San Diego Bay, so the fish isn't out of the water long before it's on your plate.
Every day there's trucks that go to the docks. We buy it every day. As you note, I'll have a lot of live tanks, so we cook the crabs and the lobsters daily. so it's definitely as fresh as we could make it.
It's a down-home place where you can order from the long deli-style menu.
I need a fish tacos, a Chardonnay, and a tuna fish sandwich, please.
Or pick something from the 40-foot case.
We have anywhere from 25 to 40 different varieties of filleted fish. This is our smoked fish case. This is the spiny lobster. I have a variety of different types of shellfish.
But anyone can offer fresh fish in San Diego. So what makes Point Loma packed with people each and every day? We'll go behind the scenes to see what we can find out. Here the fish is cooked, filleted, brined, or smoked. And therein lies the secret.
This is our smoked salmon bellies. I can hardly keep these in the case anymore.
The only thing Point Lomas will tell us about their smoking process is that it's done with real hickory wood for between 8 to 12 hours. The rest is top secret. Another carefully guarded secret to Point Loma's success, their tartar sauce.
Each one of these tubs has 30 pounds of mayonnaise in it, plus Mrs. Kelly's secret ingredients for making her tartar sauce.
Calamari sandwich?
Squid Sam?
Yeah.
We may never know the secret to Point Loma's famous smoking process or to die for tartar sauce. But whether they like it or not, San Diego locals' best-kept seafood secret, Point Loma, is out of the bag. And while we're giving away local secrets, the Marine Room in La Jolla is another seafood restaurant San Diegans can't live without.
This is oysters wrapped in spinach. It's very, very good.
Built right on the beach in 1941, the Marine Room quickly became known as the upscale restaurant with breathtaking views.
It's the only place for upscale dining. It is the best. It has the best view, it has the best food, and it has the greatest waiters.
But diners beware. Proximity to the water can make a meal at the Marine Room one that you won't forget.
We went through a couple of break-in, which was the water. We decided to come in and wash into our restaurant. What was really neat is that definitely you're talking beautiful fresh seafood. When they are swimming into your kitchen, that's fresh.
Named Chef of the Year in 2004 by Chef Magazine, the Marine Room's Bernard Guillas runs a tight ship in his kitchen.
I'm ready. You ready?
And while most of what he prepares doesn't usually swim in, everything in his kitchen is extremely fresh.
This beautiful ahi tuna was caught this morning just off the coast, about 20 miles from there, deep sea. Now, these lobsters are from Baja, so they just right about 10 miles from the coast, from over here. Now, this is one of the freshest products. Asparagus and baby carrots, and of course, it is like a canvas. So you have all the beautiful color, and now the last touch, a little bit of flowers, lemongrass, and lotus root. Et voila, the best of all our coast.
Voila. It's a local specialty infused with an exotic flair, just like San Diego's Marine Room itself. Looking for a culinary adventure south of the border? You're in luck, and you don't even have to leave the state.
Being from Mexico, this is probably the closest that you get at being authentic in the United States.
With Mexico next door, San Diego's loaded with places to go for authentic tacos, enchiladas, and the like. We'll start our spicy tour of San Diego's best Mexican food at Casa de Pico, listed as one of the top 50 Hispanic restaurants in the United States by Hispanic Magazine.
I come here almost every weekend. The food is phenomenal, the atmosphere is wonderful, the service is great.
This is an institution in San Diego. It's been around forever, and I don't know any other place in San Diego that has a feeling quite like this place.
The food and the atmosphere get great reviews. But Casa de Pico's also famous for something else.
Two bird bath margaritas.
Wow. You're gonna have to drive tonight. These are mine.
Here at Casa de Pico, we're famous for our margaritas, and that is our bird bath margarita, basically because of the shape of it, and you almost expect to see a bird landing on it. We have guests who come here mad and they leave so happy.
Tequila's been known to put a smile on a customer's face, especially when a bird bath-sized margarita is so affordable.
Salud.
Salud.
Cheers.
But how about a shot for over $100?
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers.
For those looking for a finer taste of this local spirit, head to El Agave Tequileria, just down the road in Old Town. But El Agave Tequileria is more than just a bar and restaurant. It's an actual museum of tequila.
We have the biggest collection of tequila in the United States. We have about 300 or 400 of them that are irreplaceable. You can't find them anywhere else.
Tequila's importance to Mexico has trickled its way into this Mexican-infused California city and into the glasses of happy El Agave customers. The restaurant's fitting name comes from the plant whose sap produces the tasty tequila found here. The blue agave plant is so rare, it can only be found in one corner of Mexico. But that doesn't mean there aren't plenty of tequilas to choose from. El Agave's collection consists of 1,500 different types of tequila. So many that it's tough for customers to keep them straight.
What is it? I don't know, let's taste it.
The tequila is served in special glasses, sniffed and sampled much like fine wine.
Mild. It's a little bit more mild.
Is it more mild?
Taste it.
Regular tequila, you get that face. I can keep this in my mouth for a good amount of time. This is fantastic.
El Agave is a great place to learn anything and everything about San Diego's adopted drink, tequila. But what about the difference in cost? Take a trip here and you'll see that price really does matter.
This one here is around $8 or $7 a shot. This one is $145 a shot. The basic difference is when it's aged longer than this one. This one is aged from 3 months to a year. This bottle is a 330 from 600 bottles made only. This is tequila aged for 20 years, limited edition. It doesn't get any better than this.
So how does the best tequila money can buy taste?
This is the best thing I've ever tasted.
I can get used to it, basically.
Uh-oh. I'm in trouble.
Tequila in one form or another has long been one of the city's favorite drinks. But one of the city's favorite dishes is a more recent Mexican import, the fish taco. That's a deep-fried piece of beer-batter-dipped Alaskan pollock wrapped in a corn tortilla. The fish taco's long been a staple in coastal Mexico. But it didn't take off stateside until a San Diego State student took a spring break trip to Baja in the early 1970s.
We went down there to camp, lay in the sun, drink some beers, and we pull in this little fishing village, and we see all these fish taco stands, and everyone goes, what are fish tacos? Well, I'm an adventurous eater, and I tried one, and I fell in love with them.
Rubio learned the restaurant trade, and then partnered with his father in 1983 to open Rubio's, home of the fish taco, in Pacific Beach.
People, once they tried it, they loved it, and the word of mouth, from that was extraordinary. And the business grew with very little advertising those first few years, and now we've grown to 150 restaurants.
Rubio's restaurants can be found throughout California and the western United States. But the very first Rubio's is still open, and that's where we went to learn Ralph Rubio's secret recipe.
You start with a thick corn tortilla, then you start with crispy beer-battered fish, and that's really the secret to it, because there's a lot of spices in there. So you have your white sauce, your red sauce, and then you top it with crispy cabbage, okay? And then to do it right, you've got to squeeze a fresh lime over your fish taco, and voila, you have an authentic Rubio's fish taco.
I've been eating these since he first opened in 1983, and they've gotten better every year.
It just doesn't get any better than that.
From the down home to the upscale, from south of the border specialties to French-infused fillets, we can see why San Diegans hold their favorite restaurants near to their hearts. But now that their secret's out, you're sure to have one tasty trip.
Bon appétit.
Later, we know where the people eat, but how about the animals? We've got reservations for 2 at the wettest spot in town. With its blue skies and balmy breezes, San Diego makes any time the right time to get outdoors and play. From a gondola ride through San Diego's canals, to a day at one of the city's world-famous parks, fun things to do can be found everywhere you look. But nothing guarantees a killer time more in San Diego than a day with one of the world's most famous killer whales. SeaWorld San Diego is home to shamu, dolphins, and much more.
Now put it in the mouth.
But don't expect to spend the day just looking at animals. Here you can actually touch them.
Hi, are you ready to feed some stingrays today? I don't know why.
SeaWorld provides not only an entertaining experience, but is highly educational as well. Guests literally get a chance to see and touch animals up close that they wouldn't be able to out in any other aquarium in the world.
SeaWorld's unique approach to human-animal interaction makes it a hit with visitors. In fact, SeaWorld's had over 100 million visitors since it opened in 1954, making it the #1 tourist attraction in San Diego.
We don't have anything like this in Canada, where we get a chance very often to see the whales or to see the dolphins, and especially up close like that when you get to feed them, right, buddy?
But SeaWorld is more than just a petting zoo for marine life.
Welcome to Dine with Shamu. Go ahead and have your tickets out, and I'll let you on in.
The park has a lot of other programs on its plate, like Dine with Shamu, where visitors get a 9,000-pound dinner date.
What's your favorite food?
Kasaka's favorite food, just like most of the whales here, is salmon.
And if eating with whales isn't satisfying enough, how about spending a day feeding, cleaning, and frolicking with some of SeaWorld's aquatic residents?
So go ahead and give her the signal. And don't blow your whistle. That's the wrong behavior.
We'll sign up for SeaWorld's Trainer for a Day program for a sneak peek at this unique activity.
We've heard all these guests saying, you know, what's it like to be a trainer? I'd love to find out. You look like you have an amazing job. And this program was created just for those guests so they could find out and they really see what our typical day is like.
The whole experience is just amazing, and you know, it's like one of those once-in-a-lifetime things that you just never forget.
Hold on tight.
So England can't do this at all. Definitely not.
There, stay there.
If you're not one for water, fear not. San Diego has something else for you. It's black and white and furry all over. The San Diego Zoo is one of the 3 zoos in the United States where giant pandas are on display. But the giant pandas are just the start of your day here.
The thing that makes our zoo so special is the number of species that you can see here. We have about 4,000 different animals, about 800 different species.
Animals inhabit 100 acres of carefully landscaped, but sometimes hilly, city parkland. There's a tram ride that gives visitors an overview of the zoo's layout. But to really see the park, better wake up early.
Make sure you don't make one mistake that a lot of people do. And that is they come to the zoo, they plan only 4 hours, they fly through the zoo and they leave, and then they kind of go, what happened? You want to have a full day here. You want to be able to sit in front of an exhibit and watch the animals.
At the zoo, you'll see animals of all kinds. But if you cross paths with a docile dog, watch out. A larger, more ferocious animal might be close behind.
Several times throughout the day, the animal ambassadors go for walks, and you may be lucky enough to see a cheetah walking down the road with her companion.
Because the companion dog is comfortable around people, he helps put the wild animal at ease. This dog and cat pair are always a zoo favorite. Just like the pandas, the monkeys, the giraffes, the list could go on and on. Because at a zoo like San Diego, it's almost impossible to choose a favorite.
It's hard to come across a zoo like this, actually. We heard it's the best in the world.
Enjoy the rest of your stay at the San Diego Zoo. Bye-bye, everybody.
From the wet to the wild, in San Diego, whether you're on the water or off, you're sure to find plenty of things to see and do. After the break, do you dare walk in the footsteps of Wyatt Earp and his gang? We'll visit the former brothels, bars, and gambling halls of the Gas Lamp to see how this San Diego neighborhood has cleaned up its act.
Hi, you guys. Welcome to the Gas Lamp Strip Club.
In our quest to uncover the real San Diego, we've experienced the very best the city has to offer. But with the good comes the bad. And a city as rich as San Diego inevitably has had a rough and tumbled past. And in some of San Diego's most notorious downtown neighborhoods, the winds of change are in the air.
Downtown was, sort of the slum of San Diego.
Specifically here in the gas lamp quarter, it was Stingaree. It was the red light district. So right here you had the most notorious people, the gamblers, the prostitutes. You had those sorts of characters walking these streets every day.
These characters frequented the 71 saloons and 120 bordellos that sprung up in the gas lamp, or the Stingaree. In fact, the notorious neighborhood got its nickname from the fierce stingray found in San Diego's bay. And due to its proximity to the bay, the Stingaree had a seemingly never-ending flow of mariners looking for a good time. Wyatt Earp and his gang even got in on the action, opening 3 gambling halls in the neighborhood. But walk the streets of downtown San Diego today, and you'll see that this part of the city has a new lease on life.
Hi, you guys. Welcome to the Gas Lamp Strip Club.
Or does it?
When we came up with the Gas Lamp Strip Club name, we wanted to talk about a little bit San Diego's past, poke a little fun at political correctness, and let people know once they got in the door that it's not a strip club. We feature our strip steak here, and that's our #1 steak that we sell.
So the strip club's not what it may seem. But if you come here, be ready to work for your supper.
This gets everybody up from the table, you're talking. Some people know how to cook better than others, so they kind of take over the cooking. So it just forces interaction.
Good job.
Let's go eat, buddy. Let's go.
The strip club and the rest of the gas lamp's restored streets and buildings aren't the only example of the Renaissance seen in San Diego. We'll head to another of San Diego's once forgotten corners, the East Village, to witness its rebirth.
Downtown's East Village neighborhood used to be one of the most blighted areas of our whole city, but today that has totally changed. It is one of the most dynamic areas, and today, in the pipeline, we've got over 108 redevelopment projects going on.
And in 2004, businesses who took a risk on real estate in the blossoming East Village hit a home run when their new neighbor moved in. It's Petco Park, the new home of baseball's San Diego Padres.
Petco Park was built on what was a contaminated industrial site, as many of the sites are here downtown. And because we were able to clean that up, there is a lot of other development going on as well.
With Petco Park, the restored gas lamp district, and $3 billion worth of housing and commercial construction projects underway downtown, San Diego's future seems as bright as its famous year-round sunny weather. And why not? As we've discovered, this gleaming city on the water offers boating of all varieties, maritime adventures, waves to ride, and even whales to ride. With some of the best-loved animal parks in the country, and restaurants galore,
Bon appetit.
there's no shortage of things to see, do, or eat in San Diego. And while it's the 7th largest city in the country, this bustling metropolis, this city on the sea, still retains a small-town feel.
We're real glad to have you with us.
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
It really is the world's largest cul-de-sac. It seems like we all know one another, or we know someone who knows someone else.
Been here for 45 years, and I love every day of it.
It's just the best city there is, I think.
San Diego is America's finest city.
San Diego is marvelous.
Boy, this is it. This is the place to be.